Hello guys and welcome back to Field of Glory Empires. We're playing as Saba in my first ever playthrough and we've expanded quite a bit. Decadence is starting to become somewhat of a concern as we attempt to keep up with our neighbors, which are becoming larger and larger. I do need to get more troops together. Right now, this fringe that we just took over is actually going to make Arabia kind of unhappy with us, because if we look at Arabia, they had that as an objective, as well as some other things. Doesn't really highlight their objectives too well if I do try to check them. It just tells me the name. But I know for a fact that this was one of them. Maphanite, they want Saba, they want this one as well. Interesting. Just basically capitals belonging to others in the region in general. We do have our cooperation now, but these guys just hate us. And there's not a lot I can do to make them like me other than giving them free shit, for example. Or relinquishing my objectives on them, maybe. I don't even know what the point of this is. Question mark. Open up good trade opportunities for our merchants. Yeah, I think because we don't like each other, we're not trading. Let me discard that request. We don't really want to do any of that. They hate us. This is probably just going to stay this way. Nubia doesn't hate us. They don't like us, but they don't hate us. I don't really know how else to affect it other than to offer them gifts and whatnot. Which, funny enough, this is a better diplomacy system than I've seen in basically every other age-odd game ever. They're weird, like taking the Field of Glory's IP and then kind of copying Paradox while mixing it with their own formula is, unironically, the best thing I've seen from them yet. Now, if we were to expand, I could actually go across the river here to try to create trade. Although I don't fully know how that would go. We might need to have another port over here, for example. But I'm more concerned with what's over here. I'm more concerned with staying in my lane for right now, not really getting up to Ethiopia. If they build a port, you know, they build a port that takes care of that. Hopefully they don't die to Nubia. Considering they like me, they could be a good ally on that side by the Nile. Whereas, I mean, well, that stuff is way more useful, by the way, than anything we have. There's also this over here to conquer, but I'm mostly concerned with Arabia proper. Now, we do need another building down here in Adramite. Still my only location that has a palisade, by the way. I could make a stud here. That's some more food. They'd make some horses, unlock camel ears. That's just good in general. Wouldn't really help with infrastructure too much. I could make clear water. That could help with health bonuses, I guess. I don't really know like what health does. Well, I looked it up and health is used for population just like food is. Health is just kind of like a percentage stacking on top of like food bonuses you might already have. I don't really know if it shows those limitations anywhere, but I do know that seems to be what health is for. Given that we're not very populous, I think, I would like to maybe get the stud. The horses would be good. I don't know if there's like a limit to the amount of a resource that can be produced in general in like an entire nation. I'm not really sure about that. However, it probably can't hurt commerce. It's commerce bonuses and other things. I don't know what really affects this. But there are certainly amounts of trade goods. There's trade values. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So it does tell you if you can already have something, but I think I might go ahead and just make this anyway. Don't know if it's smart. I can also create a province. Arabia Felix will be formed next turn. I don't really know how that works, but I just saw that I could make it this turn. I'm going to move this guy, this regular that I recruited. We're going to go join the Saba army over here. Oh, whoops. I think we'll just chillax here for right now. I don't think we're going to have too much in the way of food problems. I know we have that food usage. Is there a way that I could see the amount of food we're carrying? I have no idea. It probably just gets taken out of the stockpile. I don't know if the next thing I should do is actually like fight Arabia because they hate me anyway. And, you know, I do have some targets on their population centers. It would expose me to potentially some other threats as well. What I'd actually really love to do is like split my group up and then go take over some other shit like this. I mean, as it stands, it looks like we can move quite a ways in one turn. This is all one turn. It's like how difficult it is to move. Because, you know, taking over this island, for example, could be pretty useful. Well, it's just population. It's just stuff. It's nothing particularly useful. It depends what trade resources are there, really. Like, there's dates and olive oils in a lot of these locations. There's gold in this location. That's probably going to turn into something impressive eventually, which determines what can be made. Now, that's the natural resources, natural trade goods. Yeah, so you can make gold mines and other things and just trade it for money in general, which is probably a big part of where we're getting money from as well. Whereas this place can manufacture olive oil, you could just get coral for free. I don't know if coral is supposedly hard to get or anything. For now, at least, I know we're definitely not attacking because our units need time to recover and heal, and we're bringing in some more infantry. I can't really afford any more right now in terms of manpower. We're totally fine on money. Having this dam has been pretty useful, especially due to my infrastructure-heavy approach here. So let's go ahead and we'll probably just end the turn. There's no real decisions we need to make. This is just like loyalty bonuses in exchange for potentially tax income or just money in general and a potential to lower unrest. But even with basically most of our nation still being under pacification, we don't really have a lot of problems with that. And so for now, we're good. In terms of decadence, the two capitals, that we own, the former enemy capital and then our capital, are constantly generating more decadence. This one has so much due to the perfumery, right? And I guess the rest are accumulating some as well. 10% of accumulated decadence is removed every turn, apparently. It's a weird system. So you eventually reach a point where it kind of breaks even, but we'll just end turn for right now. There's nothing really for us to do. The enemy armies are probably further up north. It's hard to move in the desert, but it's not incredibly hard. It's way harder to move through like Ethiopian mountains, for example. And so that's probably what's going to be more concerning. We've gone down 2 points in the ranking, which is not amazing, but it is what it is. We're still doing pretty well on legacy. And it seems you could spend legacy points as well. I swear to God, the Seleucids were over 100. Maybe they weren't, but... or the Antigonids, maybe. It looks like you can lose and spend it. We've already seen a way to. Speaking of, slaves. I can use my slave markets to sell or buy slaves or distribute them more equally within your nation. So I could spend 500 money to buy 4 new slave pops. I cannot buy more slaves than the number of slave markets, so up to 4 slave pops. Each slave pop will appear in a different slave market region. Well, so then I would actually be buying 2. Sell slaves to the slave markets. We'll sell 1/4 of our slave population to slavers, but no more than 10. We will gain 100 money for each such population sold. Regions with a lot of slaves tend to be selected first, but they don't need to have a slave market for the sale to occur. The third option is to disperse slaves within the nation. Every slave market can disperse. What the hell? Oh my gosh. What is this UI? I double-clicked and now there's a different UI. What the fuck? Oh, it's the province. It's province. So this is all one big province. Arabia Felix. Is there like a... yes, there is. A province overlay. So this is all Arabia Felix. So, okay, cool. And that helps you organize things. But for what? It's letting me see what everything is at a glance. It lets me see how many slots are open. I guess if anything is building. Lets me see, yeah, the allocation of things. Lets me see the overall income of the entire province. And things that are affecting it. You can see loyalty averages and provincial units such as the Arabic Cameleer, which is interesting. I can't make an Arabic Cameleer. I can make a Cameleer. Is that the same thing? I don't know. But hey, look, this got a second pop. Oh gosh, what is this? Wait, what? Mostly focused on food. Oh, I can make it automatically manage this for me? That's really cool. Deactivate automated population management at the provincial level. You handle it on the regional level. Dynamically balance as needs arise on the provincial and national level or focuses. So as I get bigger, I don't need to... I was wondering how micromanagey this would get in the long run. And I guess when I have provinces, I can just have them manage it for me, including buildings. That's interesting. Building less present structures category-wise. That's really nice. So I could just have balanced and otherwise focused things. That's really cool. That is really cool. Wow, dude. Is this like the best Age-Odd game ever? That's like so far? I really liked the World War I Age-Odd game, but it was not great. Wait, what? We were raided by Arabia. You what? What does that mean? I guess when they're on my border, if they have the ability to raid, they can raid? Mount a retaliation expedition hostile region. You won't capture the first region. Return it to the previous region instead. Cause an effectiveness loss. I don't understand. How did they raid me? Well, I don't know that I can raid, which is unfortunate. I also can't really click through these too much, but there's that new pop. They raided us. We held off nice and fine, it seems. So that's a downside. So on this border now, where I'm going to move one of my pops down to infrastructure, I guess there's going to be growth no matter what, even with no extra food production. That's what it shows anyway. This is weird. +9 per turn? Huh. Who needed for next population? I don't really know how this is going to work. But I can make a guard tower here in 2 turns. Remove when population is 12 or higher. Prevents a raid as 10 combat power of units. So that's nice. It's like a temporary thing to prevent against raids in case I don't want to go fight them like super duper soon or whatever. Or I could go for base food production or something else. Well, so long as I have my unit stack here, that could defend against it. They haven't expanded out this way, and they haven't expanded too much recently. I probably need to just go deal with them. The problem is going to be this. It's going to be the decadence. That's the problem. If I just double my fucking nation size attacking them, that's not going to be very great. If I could turn them into a bit of a client state, that would honestly be better. But I don't really know that that's possible. So let's just look internally elsewhere for right now. Why don't we? So over in Himjar, I guess, right there, we have some options as well. A weapons depot. This seems good for making weapons, but we don't have what we need to even do it. We do have a shepherd's house where we are making some food. I can probably move all slaves to infrastructure and just maintain like a basic amount. Yeah, it doesn't affect things too crazily. Unrest here is probably, not going to be too amazing with so many slaves here, realistically. A slave market can gather and sell slaves. Now that, that actually sounds pretty useful. And the reason I think that sounds useful is because for every one of these that you have, you can like buy slaves, sell them, move them around, things like that. Apparently they have a chance to move around by themselves no matter what, unless you go on a hard difficulty mode, which I don't know if it actually tells you when that happens or not. Which means eventually, theoretically, I could get rid of the slave market at the capital because we just wouldn't really need it there. And we could free up a building slot. Oh, now that we got the province made, there's a governor's palace too, which adds more culture generation. It unlocks the Arabic Cameleer, and it adds another garrison? 1 medium unit or something is what it seems to be. A tier 2 culture building. Well, that's really nice. Another good reason to having provinces. So you're telling me that I can recruit Arabic Cameleers? I can. And how is that different from a normal Cameleer? Well, it has provincial. I don't know that that means anything. It's just probably an identifier. They get more expensive, every single one of them that you make, and I don't see much difference. Well, it says that it's a provincial unit, and that it'll perform slightly better than its more common counterpart, but it will cost more and more to recruit if you field too many. It's kind of like the African war elephants, for example, which can be made up here now. I'm not sure why they can be made up here all of a sudden, but they can. Well, that's quite interesting. I still don't really see a difference. I think I want to try for those regional roads now. We are close to the building cap here anyway. Up here, I do like the idea of the slave market for buying and selling slaves. If I wait to do my event for slaves, for example, and I actually purchase slaves, then that would certainly help because I could spawn more slaves elsewhere. But that is also just a lot of money. It's most of my money right now. So whatever I do decide to do with the slave markets, I might want to wait a year before I actually do it. Oh, you know why I think we see everything we can recruit here now? You know why? Because it's looking at it like it's a whole province. So it's going to pop out like God knows where if I purchase different things, right? Just somewhere applicable, I guess. But I could see warships inland. Yeah, it's just looking at it as like a whole ass province now. That's why. Naval ships are something we could go into in the future, but I'm really really more concerned with the land stuff right now, because even these need manpower, and manpower is that big limiter that we have to deal with. Given that we're guarding the border, let's just go ahead and make the shepherd house to get some food coming in, some more food to speed up population growth on the border. And then nowhere else has any new buildings to make. I think I kind of like the size of this army. Maybe not the layout of it, but I like the size of it. The heavy infantry seems out of place. The Cameliers help take care of the flanks. I don't really know that this is a good ratio. Maybe more like 2 cavalry plus like 2 cavalry that are not ranged units, right? Plus like skirmishers behind them, but extra skirmisher cavalry can kind of take care of themselves for right now, and it's a kind of a geographical advantage we have. And so right now I have like some cavalry on the front line. This could probably use 2 more infantry. This amount of cavalry is probably a little excessive, maybe like a little bit extra. I could probably add more to this, but at some point soon I would probably want to start getting a new army going. We have excessive amounts of equipment. We make way too much. We don't need this many. But we don't have the manpower accumulated to make more than like 1 unit at a time. If we could have a second stack of like kind of equal capacity to what we have right now, just of course without the heavy infantry, then we could go around conquering other things. Although I don't know how I feel about conquering other things right now, because we're having, you know, our ratio is just going down and down and down because of our nation size, because of the structures adding to the decadence. It's been raising our decadence number, and that culture is getting closer and closer. I looked more into this. I found the manual. The HCV specifically, the historical value, which right now is 46, is the average of cultural production in the last 15 turns, and then the current turns culture production. And I don't know if this is just like raw addition, because I mean, look, right now is like 45, 5, 3. That sounds more like 53 to me, but that might just be a new development. Putting more guys on culture would definitely help with that, and once something reaches 1,000 to become cultured, it will generate some legacy for me, which right now we are number 5. We've actually gone up, I think. Meaning someone might have gone down, or we might have been here already. I'm not really sure. Maybe this makes sense. I think I also just moved this guy to culture from money, because I realized, well, shit, we don't really need him here anymore. But this active division is going to be a little difficult to manage if we were to expand. Now, if I want to heal, then right now is a good time to heal and just not attack in general. But I'm starting to get the idea of how managing the decadence works, and like tempering your expansion with building up your nation and keeping your culture thriving so that internal divisions do not tear you apart. We still have some under pacifications that we're kind of dealing with as well, which is a huge penalty to culture, which will go away eventually. As I build things like slave markets, though, that's not exactly going to help, because that adds decadence from structures, but it seems like it's an amount easily made up for, I hope, right? But for right now, I don't think we need to make any more. We don't really have manpower to make a whole lot more. Well, again, it's not terrible. I'll just recruit another infantry, because there is a chance we could need this to be stronger. 16 units. I looked up here, and it's like some of these places are defended by 11 units. Now, I don't know the quality of those units, but if we were to march on Arabia, we might really need a stronger main force. So I can add 1 more regular infantry for right now. It's not too crazy in demands. We're swimming in money right now as it is, so that's fine. We have some events that can be put off. Apparently the temple's done another cycle. I'm happy that it reduces decadence in the capital. This other capital's decadence is absolutely insane, and it's basically mainly because of the perfumery and the slave markets. Every time I build a slave market, it's just going to get worse. I don't know, man. I'm learning a lot about the game, so this episode might be a little slow. Let's just proceed into the next turn, however. This would be so fun as multiplayer. Unfortunately, so far, Travis and Narfi, they really are not interested in this game. I don't know why. I think it's just because they haven't played it. Because this is kind of similar to other games we've played, but it's pretty neat. The glorious trait is definitely pretty interesting. Expansionism led Arabia to invade and wage war against Saba. Oh. 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 So they're attacking me. Well, good thing I recruited a new unit, because I guess we need it. I guess we need it. Well, they're attacking me. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to take this guy and send him to go join the main group. Guess we don't need to worry about raiding anymore, huh? Because we've now just been declared war on. Enemy fleet strength is overwhelming, but I don't think it'll matter. I don't know what happens if they blockade a port or anything. I really don't know what happens. No buildings under construction. Maximum allowed is reached. Oh, sad face. Well, I can move someone then. Move to culture and just maintain for now. We need to generate more pops before we could do more building there. That's sad. Everyone else is actively building stuff, being productive. There's not a lot we're going to get to be able to do this turn. Our relations here sure don't feel like they're getting any better. Oh, look at that. I can provide units to them. Interesting. Wait, so I can just freely pay someone or pay money to give units to somebody else. And right now it only really lets me offer my provincial unit, but still. It's a flat sum. I could just give somebody else units. That would be really interesting in multiplayer. Huh. Transaction. You could also seed regions, which is very useful in multiplayer as well. See, this is so set up. Oh, it's set up so well for multiplayer. Oh, I just noticed that there's a war score. Huh. That's interesting. I don't really understand what all these are. And it's literally just to make peace. Ask for peace. Few turns to accept or whatever. Return territories they conquered to the others unless demanded during the peace negotiation. Oh, here's the peace. So I could use this to humiliate someone to destroy their legacy by a certain amount, I guess. That's funny. New clause directions. That would be like towards them. They don't have a lot of legacy. I could make them disband an army. Oh, that's cool. Seize. Oh God, seed provinces and regions. Give me resources, money, become my client state. Holy shit. That's really cool. I would love it if I could somehow turn them into a client state, just because there's a lot of area over here to expand. Well, I mean, realistically, there's not a lot for me to do. We still have one more turn till pacification's gone from here, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. This unit, he's getting his happy ass over there. We don't have the manpower to recruit another one yet, but hey, one is better than none, I guess. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it'll work decently enough, I suppose. We'll get them linked up, and then I guess we might just go wage war and start taking stuff. Taking all this over eventually would be great as well. I am concerned about getting too close to, like, you know, these other guys and then waging massive wars I can't hope to win. But we're already building everything we can build. Building slots are either full or fine, and there's no other diplomacy to really do for right now. So we'll just continue. They have certainly a bigger stack. Oh, they just ran away. They certainly have a bigger stack somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere out there. Culture decadence ratings going up. That's nice. We're getting closer to tier 1. I'd love to be in tier 1, but I'm a little too expansionist right now because we started so small, right? But still number 5 for legacy. Just behind the big boys. Rome shot ahead. Massilia fell behind. So it's Carthage, the Seleucids, the Antigonids, and Rome. That's who's ahead of me. Rome makes sense. Building development focus regions will reshuffle some of their building proposals. Emphasis on harbors, walls, or workshops. Interesting. But we don't have an academy, so we can't do this anyway. So gather food, produce more food, or instantly gain food from the land. Decree the peasants must work harder. More food, but lose loyalty points. Spend money. And generate food instantly, but pause pop growth. You know what? I think I don't need that. Thank you. That's nice, but I think I don't need that. Yeah, sir. I will probably go ahead here and produce one more regular infantry, and then I think that will be enough of that for now. We'll only have 7 besieging infantry, but with the heavy infantry on the front line, I mean, that's the main thing I'm concerned about, really. A new population has been born here. Now I can move this other guy around. Yeah, I can move this other guy around. That's good. That's nice. What can we produce here? I could put a stud here, for example, a street parlor, but we don't have papyrus, so it won't be super efficient. I have stone I can bring to make a quarry functional. You know, we have a quarry here. It gets rid of health. This wood as well. This wood as well. I could upgrade. Oh, wait, no, that's back here. I'm already doing regional roads there. Yeah. No, I need something new here, and I could either go for the stud for even more food. I could go for an herbalist for health and manpower. Manpower would actually be really nice right about now. And the health bonus would enable me to pretty easily make a quarry at a later point. I don't think we really need stables. I don't think that's really needed at the moment. Yeah, no. I can make a crafter district, commerce bonus, money, infrastructure. None of it's bad. None of it's terrible. I think I'm going to make the herbalist, though. The herbalist sounds nice. And then moving over here, there's still the ability to upgrade the Palisades city walls. This is still my only walled location that I have. Otherwise, a lot of things here are looking pretty nice, even with the way things are currently spread out. I could go for more food production. We don't have tar to really fully benefit from hemp. There is sanitation, which would produce a health bonus. And I mean, yeah, health bonuses at this point could be useful. There's also a brickwork, which just makes infrastructure from stone, and it makes a hell of a lot of infrastructure from stone. Oh my god. It's actually quite a lot. Okay. Bonus of 5 from stone? Yeah, all right. Give me the brickwork. Give me the brickwork. That's fine. And now over here on the border, we can make something new. I could go for the guard tower. I don't think they're really going to need it. It costs infrastructure, gets rid of manpower. It does add more garrisons. I don't really know if we'll need it, honestly. So I don't know if this is really worth it. It could be useful, probably. We could also be producing salt. I don't think we have salt yet. We could have a fortune teller that produces money, but that costs infrastructure as well. We don't really have a lot of infrastructure. It's got to come from population right now. Let's go with the guard tower, just because I don't know how this is going to go. It'll add to the garrisons. 3 garrisons, that's pretty nice. 0 slot usage. It's some easy way to have defenses. You know, like our capital still doesn't even have any walls or defenses. I wish I could rush that forward. That would be pretty nice. But sadly, that's not something I have the ability to do. We're not having any luck at getting these progress tokens, but, you know, at least for now, we do have Glorious Nation, which is helping us gain legacy and giving us more leaders and XP, conversion. There's a lot of nice bonuses with being in the glorious state, I suppose. So we're going to go on an attack probably. There's only 6 enemy units here. After that, it's going to be hard to go any further, though. Gotta admit, it's going to be pretty hard to go any further because of everything that's over there. However, they're going to have to pass through all this neutral territory with, you know, defenders that are not me to really come towards me. So I'm going to take advantage of this current situation. We are going to move forward. This other guy will produce in the back in the meantime. And everyone is producing. We have everything ideally as I would want it. Man, Ethiopia has been at war with Nubia like this whole time. I wonder when that's going to end. Hey, they can make heavy infantry. I can't do that. I couldn't really afford that if I wanted to. I do have the archery. Yet I don't have the ability to make anything resembling archers. There are slowly but surely more things getting added, like warships and heavy warships. I don't really know when or how I'd be able to get archers. Maybe it'll just, you know, buff up skirmishers. I know it buffs up skirmishers. I know it does at least that much. This province UI makes things a little bit harder to click through. Yeah, bonus of XP when stuff is created. Can be upgraded to Master Fletcher's. Extra training to ranged units. Yeah, right now it's just extra training. I was hoping we'd actually get archers, but oh well, our skirmishers are fine. It's whatever. Maybe there's no difference anyway. Let's go ahead and, I suppose, end our turn. I don't think there's anything else to do. That produces our new unit and brings us over into this battle where there's 6 enemy units as a garrison, and that's it. Let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens. We skirmish the fuck out of them, wiping them out pretty well. They did some damage to us right there with their skirmishers. Wiped out their urban militia. These rolls are going very well for us. Yeah, especially with skirmishers in the rear helping. Hell, we have a little bit of extras in the way of camels right now. A pursuit that wiped the rest of them out, and we won the battle, killing all of their units, winning the battle. This is now effectively ours, which is good. Progressing to the next turn. Driving by sea does not require specific transport ships. They'll be treated as transports. Oh, nice. You need to disembark from a harbor. You lose effectiveness. Oh, nice. You can escort a stack by adding military naval units to the stack. Oh, nice. Went down in culture decadence. What a surprise. But legacy's gone up. As this tiny little nation, we're competing in legacy with the big boys. Who went down? Someone just went way down. Carthage. Oh God, where is Carthage? Oh, they went way down to number 13. That's kind of crazy. Oh, there's a new ruler. We have a new ruler. What happened to the old one? Maybe he died. This one's an architect. So that's neat. He's 17. Good military. So these are decent traits. Hopefully there's more decent traits as well. Found dead in the morning. His death was sudden, but probably natural. Sad face, probably. And we marched in and conquered this region. It already gets treated as ours, even though it's just occupied for now. I don't know if it's important to, like, invest into it. But we see they have quite a massive army here, the Arabian army. 13 units, but only 37 combat power. It's very weak, mostly skirmishers. Oh, yeah. Nothing we have to worry about. They spent a lot more on their fleet. This might be an easy war. However, we are out of time for this episode, so we're going to have to end it here. For now, though, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see how this war goes on the next episode.